All right, guys, I'm at the FinTech event, Tokenized London, and I've just sat through the Japan presentation, the presentation from the delegate from Japan, and so far so good. That's probably the most interesting one I've listened to so far, and it basically was talking about how the entire country is gearing up for tokenization of real-world assets, and that is really good news for XRP. Just got back home from this conference. It's one of 2 days. So today was the second, tomorrow is the third, in case you're still looking to go. It's in London in the Excel Center. The future of tokenization and RWAs, absolutely enlightening. And I met a heck of a lot of people, as you can imagine, in high places. And there's more tomorrow. There's actually two conferences at once. One was this one that I went to. In the same building was also the FinTech Connect, which is to do with fintech technologies, AI, etc. Lots and lots of exhibitions. Let me just show you some of the speakers that I got to speak to and listen to. These are big people, as you can see. Professor of Informatics and AI is Senior Product Manager, BMW Group. People from RWA.io. It's quite interesting having a conversation with someone from there. TSB Bank, British American Tobacco, Hive, which is a blockchain I keep banging on about, Lloyds Bank, eBay, former Bank of England director, NatWest Group, CoinGeek, HSBC, UK House of Lords, Solana Foundation, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of disheartening not seeing someone from Ripple here, but I suppose maybe the conference isn't big enough anymore for the likes of Ripple. But we did see people who collaborate with Ripple in their project. There's some at least one person that mentioned it during the presentation, so that was good to hear. Standard Chartered Bank, IBM, Bank of London, EY. I used to work with them back in the day. Blockade, look at the names. HSBC, IPA, Google. Got somebody here from Citibank, IBM, Casper Foundation, one of the sponsors, Deutsche Bank, Team Block. I mean, look, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. All the big hitters, movers and shakers. Barclays Bank in banking, payments, finance, government, real world asset tokenization. It's an absolute colossal event where we're like one-on-one. This is one of my best favorite presenters today, by the way, Kilroy James, talking about supply chain and blockchain and crypto and the importance of blockchain in supply chain processes. Works for the military. So I think it's in the Royal Navy. So very, very serious stuff there. Epic event. At the end of this video, I'm going to play you some clips from there if you're interested. In the meantime, let's check out the market. Look at that. Everything looking bright green in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin up 8.6% and Ethereum up 10%. XRP up 9%. Let's have a look at the charts. Fear, obviously, and greed index is lagging, so that's gone to extreme fear. So that should fix by tomorrow. Look at the price of XRP. Look at all that green. Wow, big pump. What's going on? Obviously, there's some resolution. The dust is settling with the whole reverse carry trade issue. I've been out of my station at the conference all day, so I'm not really actually familiar with any bit of information that happened. Perhaps Jerome Powell said something amazing. I have to check that after this video. But looking good at 92,184. That's a big intraday pump. So happy to see that. It's looking like it might be, making for higher highs, trying to come back and reclaim that 100,000 range or level, shall I say? Not financial advice, your own research. But looking like it's recovering from this little pitfall here. So shout out to Bitcoin. Same things happening, obviously, with XRP. If you compare that with XRP, okay, so XRP is the red and Bitcoin is the blue. You can see it return there to all its glory, doing a little golden cross there with BTC. So XRP also looking amazing. Some good payments news happening in Nigeria as Ripple and Red.Pay launch fast crypto to Naira payment rail in Nigeria. So basically, this is a fintech company in Nigeria, and payments in Nigeria have been leveraged on the XRP ledger via Ripple. So that's really good news. Red.Pay and Ripple have introduced a new cross-border payment service designed to let users convert cryptocurrencies directly into Nigerian Naira. The feature, called called Send Crypto Receive NGN, is powered by Ripple Payments and delivers near instant payouts to verified Red.Pay users holding local bank accounts. So I'll leave a link to this article in the description. It's really, really huge. Nigeria is number 3 when it comes to crypto adoption. So I can imagine this is going to get a lot of use. Also, Nigeria is one of the highest countries on the list of remittances from the likes of the United States and the UK. So this is going to get a lot of use. Best believe a lot of remittances that usually go through something like Western Union. Western Union would be licking their wounds right now and, a bit staggered by this news. But this is going to bring a lot of competition to the likes of Western Union as people move to use this kind of system. Obviously, this is only working with people who have the Red.Pay and local accounts at the moment. Whereas with Western Union, you'd have to go to a Western Union actual shop or outlet in both Nigeria or wherever you're sending the money to and from. But with this could basically leapfrog that the minute more people sign up for Red.Pay. So that's going to do a lot for that company locally and a lot for people sending money. And of course, the fees will be massively affected as they'll be sending for much, much less fees. And obviously, instantaneous payments now coming to Nigerian accounts. So about the conference, it was actually my first time using the Elizabeth line. So that was an interesting experience. It's at the XL London building, which is a multi-purpose event center, absolutely massive structure. And it's located in the part of London where there's still a lot of open skyline. So it always looks nice and fresh. That's where all our newest technology is. There's the DLR. There's all sorts of new fancy train lines over there. So it looks really cool. Met a whole bunch of people straight away. A friend of mine and a veteran user of the Hive blockchain was giving a presentation. That was good to listen to. Very attentive people there. Met a bunch of people that have traveled far and wide. There's a gentleman that came from Nigeria that I met like straight away. We had some interesting conversations. He's into payments. He's got a payment system business down there. So I can imagine he's very, very interested in cross-border payments and tokenization of real world assets. So we had an interesting conversation about that. I met a whole bunch of engineers that are coders that are into AI and blockchain and coding. We even talked about things as varied as the metaverse and how NFTs were going to come back this time with functionality. In one of the presentations from a delegate from Japan, they mentioned briefly about the reverse carry trade issue and how low interest in Japan have led to not that much investment in stable coins, and how the change in interest rate in Japan is affecting the interest in stable coins going forward. Because we're talking about cross-border payments and setting up all of these new systems across Japan, and how the whole country was bullish about cross-border payments, tokenization of real-world assets, payments, etc., etc. And I noticed in the presentation, they mentioned SBI and how SBI was an integral part of the whole thing, and how they were going to be delegating all of the actual settlements and moving money from one place to the other to SBI Bank. I obviously realized how SBI Bank will be doing that. That would be via the XRP Ledger and Ripple Pay, because obviously the CEO in that region is a member of the Ripple board, as I think I remember. So even though the lady didn't mention XRP and Ripple explicitly, the presence of SBI in the schematic diagram sort of pointed me in the right direction. During the question time, I was this close to asking about Ripple and XRP when a gentleman that was sitting right next to me posed the exact same question and said, "Hey, are you guys going to be using XRP or Ripple with this setup that you've got here, and this whole bullish setup that you've given to us about Japan?"
Ripple for cross-border payments.
Okay.
Ripple and XRP.
So we also haven't built the infrastructure for that, but we understand that the party will have already partnered with HQLAX, which is dealing with Ripple. So through the collaboration with Pario, we will also be able to look like to deal with Ripple.
And she answered that yes, in fact, they themselves, they're the sort of their role is in settlements, right? That their role is something different in that whole structure. However, some of their partners that they're working with, yes, are directly, she said, compatible with Ripple and XRP. But obviously, knowing what I know about SBI, and actually, funny enough, it wasn't SBI that she mentioned, it was yet another collaborator. So it's more than one aspect of that structure that's working with XRP and Ripple. So we know that SBI is. So in Japan, it's not just SBI, it's other organizations in Japan as well. So that was interesting to know, and quite a bullish thing. Someone mentioned in a video that I made that Ripple and RWAs are going to be beneficiaries of this whole reverse carry trade thing, which I believe to be true, because now the RWAs and as a stable coin will become more attractive still than it was before, because now there's going to be interest in yield, staking, and DeFi via RLUSD. Obviously, RLUSD is going to have competitors, as I've learned today. There's a lot of competition, but there is no one that is in the same phase that Ripple is with RLUSD and with XRP Army. There's a lot of competition, but a lot of these banks that are trying to build their own thing are still sort of in the planning phase or the conceptualization phase, whereas the ones that are using the XRP blockchain, the Ripple Net system, whatever, collaborating with Ripple and Ripple Solutions, they are already in the implementation phase. So it's only a matter of time before even some of these other organizations that spoke today realize what's going on and basically decide not to reinvent the wheel and go over to the whole sort of Ripple system. But that isn't financial advice. That's just my personal observation. I'm looking forward to asking more questions from some people tomorrow, and I'll be getting back to you guys on there. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.